A lot of you don't know this about me because I don't really like I've alluded to it before, but I don't really like broadcast this, but I grew up in a home of abuse. Like for 14 years my mother was a victim of domestic violence. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I get asked this sometimes, especially from the people at my dialysis clinic. Well, why don't you just take your mom's kidney? Take your mom's kidney. Take your mom's kidney. My mother wants to give me a kidney, but here's the reason why I won't do that. My mother is 62 years old, and she's been working for the federal government. She works for the postal service. She's not a mailman. So for all you people missing packages, I'm sorry I can't help you. But she works at a bulk mail center, so they handle like large mail, packages, things like that, rewrap stuff like that. And growing up, she didn't have the best childhood. She didn't have the childhood that she should have had. And a lot of that had to do with a lot of the adults around her and their irresponsibility and how selfish they were, to not take in consideration the needs of their kids, like at all. And as she grew up, she met my father, and then it started off good, and then it got bad. And I don't really want to get into the specifics of like what went on in the home, but let's just say there was domestic violence, there was abuse from from my father, and he just spread it all around, you know. And she was with him for a long time until eventually she made the choice to leave because she realized that if she stayed with him, it was going to be the end of her life. Because eventually the violence was going to get to a point where it was going to get real bad. And she prioritized me and my sister over being in this abusive relationship because she wanted to be here for us, me and my sister, but mostly me. But and she split from my father, and she left him and never looked back. Like the final time, because in abusive relationships, you leave them and then you go back to them, and you leave them and you go back to them, and then they say they're gonna change, and they do for like a week, maybe two, then they go right back to doing the same stuff that they did before. It was that kind of relationship. Oh, I promise I'll never hit you again, and then it happens again. So she left him for the final time. This was years ago, and she never looked back. And then as a kid, I left him and then never looked back. And she finally has a chance to be happy, which is something that, from my perspective, she never got a chance to do when she was young, when she was with my father. And she's sacrificed so much for me already. My mom is my friend, and she's been with me through this entire process, from the HLH that damn near killed me to right into the kidney disease. She was with me the whole step of the way. When other people who claim to be my friends completely abandoned me for the most mundane reasons, she never left my side. And you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, well, that's what she should do. She's your mom, right? That's what she should do. Not necessarily. You do have some parents that aren't responsible like that. Like they don't care about their kids. Like my father is one of those people. He had me. I'm his son when it's convenient for him. But other than that, hey, listen, I'm having my whores come over, so I need you to leave. True story. One of his bitches came over and he asked me to leave. his son, came down specifically to visit him. Now, I don't know if I'm like giving out too much information here, but like I'm a real person, like I'm a guy behind this screen, like I'm a real person. Like real things happen to me. Unfortunately, most of those things happen to be like the most terrible things. But I'm a real guy. And I'm letting you all the way in to like who Carl is as a person, more so than a guy that takes like shitty toy photos, you know. But I wouldn't feel right taking. People tell you all the time, and I'm jumping around here, and I apologize. But people, like you get these doctors, these physicians, these nephrologists, these kidney doctors. They'll tell you, "Oh, well, you can live on one kidney." Yeah, but I have limited kidney function. My mother's 62 years old. Like, I don't know how she'll react to having one kidney. My mother is a very active person. She's not like the stereotypical, like, fat, angry black woman. That's not what she is. If you've ever seen, pictures of my mother, hey, I'll put one up right now. But this is her. Right? This is my mother. And I wouldn't feel right as her son, as somebody who she sacrificed so much for, taking her happiness away. I know that she wouldn't see it that way. And I know that she would sacrifice anything for me, as I would her. But this is my albatross. This is my cross to bear, not hers. And she shouldn't have to keep sacrificing everything for me. Now it's my turn. And if this is what I have to do, if dialysis is what I have to do to make sure that she stays healthy and happy, because she deserves it. She's worked hard. She's been through a plethora of misfortunes throughout her life. And she deserves this. And I'm not going to take that away from her. I refuse to. So I'll just have to wait. It sucks because being on dialysis is not fun. It's not fun for me. This is not a fun experience. Ask anybody you know that's on dialysis. Ask your grandma, your grandpa. It sucks. Like your entire life has changed. You'll never be the same person again. Even if you do get a kidney transplant, you'll never be the same person again. So I don't really know what the point was for me doing this video. More so like an explanation of like, well, why doesn't he just take one of his family members' kidney? Who cares? Well, it does matter. Well, it doesn't matter. It does matter. I don't ever want to see anything bad happen to my mother ever again. Ever. From anybody or any situation. And it's like I'm going to put her in a situation that puts her at risk because I'm too much of a coward to just do the dialysis. So here's the thing. You're probably thinking, well, you're going to take a kidney from somebody else. Here's my rule with this. No living donors. Like, I can't take a kidney from somebody that's alive. If somebody is a kidney donor and they happen to pass away, then that's good. But I can't do that to somebody. I won't take my mom's kidney. I won't take anything from a living donor. Like that's my rules. A lot of times on social media, it's not very social. Especially on Instagram, you follow these people for years, but you don't really know anything about them. So now you know a little bit more about me. Like Carl Porter, like the man behind the camera.